got involved with Launch48 after missing the very first event that Ian and Bill put together, and so I wanted to go and participate in them because it must be really cool to try and create a web business in 48 hours. So I was on a team after decided not to pitch because I figured that I'd just choose something that sounded like a good idea at the time. And I worked on a project called Wine Scanner, which was using barcode scanning to scan a bottle of wine in a restaurant, and then you can buy it through an affiliate program. A simple, very small niche idea, and one of the main reasons I chose it was probably less to do with its business potential and more to do with its viability to actually create a product in the space of a weekend in 48 hours. And I think that's something sort of worth bearing in mind. Is the idea, a good business idea is one thing, and in 48 hours will we be able to get to a point where we can get some traction is probably another point to bear in mind. Wine Scanner, great weekend, met loads of really interesting people, completely died at the end of the weekend because of internal politics in the team. I can tell you about that later. Since then I've been helping run other Launch48 events and sort of helping teams through the weekend or the couple of days that it is.
So Christy, you obviously helped to run the last event. What was your experience with seeing the teams and kind of what kind of lessons do you think these new attendees should?
I will share it in Romanian, but
yeah,
I assure you.
No, I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
I'll use good words. Am auzit de Launch48 de la Vlad Stan, după Webstock anul trecut, la o bere, care mi-a zis, de ce nu faci Launch48 în România? Uite despre ce e vorba. Și pe loc m-a convins că pe probabil cea mai bună idee prin care cineva care vrea să învețe să lanseze un startup sau ce înseamnă un startup, e cea mai bună idee la care poate participa. Și am intrat în legătură cu Adil și cu Ian pentru prima ediție. Am avut anul trecut, cred că 20 de idei. Mi-au plăcut jumătate din ele și îmi pare rău că n-am reușit să dezvoltăm decât 3. Cred că în cele 2 zile, oamenii care au fost implicați în echipe au avut ocazia chiar să-și testeze abilitățile, să-și completeze cunoștințele. Sunt convins, nu știu dacă voi credeți asta, dar sunt convins că noi ca indivizi nu știm tot ce e de știut despre un startup. Unii sunt buni la programare, alții sunt buni la design, alții sunt buni la business, alții la marketing, dar nimeni nu are toate skill-urile necesare. Și atunci, fiind parte într-o echipă, vezi dinamica grupului, vezi cât de importantă e un anumit job din cele enumerate, vezi ce provocări ai, toate astea în 48 de ore, pe ideea ta sau a cuiva, și pleci de acolo cu niște informații care te pot scuti apoi de, nu știu, pierdere de timp, pierdere de bani, sau, dimpotrivă, îți pot aduce un avantaj atunci când îți vei dezvolta un alt startup sau chiar ideea respectivă. Îmi pare rău că n-au continuat cu ideile. Au fost 3 idei foarte bune, 2 dintre ele chiar aveau șansa să se dezvolte chiar internațional, una era locală, chiar targeta piața locală. Cea care targeta piața locală chiar a fost abordată, cel care a inițiat-o și echipa respectivă a fost abordată după Launch48, ideea de a o dezvolta. Din păcate, nu și-au dus mai departe ideile, însă cred că au rămas foarte mult cu experiența respectivă. Să mă gândesc. Oricum, cei care s-au implicat și care au venit cu idei au mai participat și la alte întâlniri de genul antreprenori care îți prezintă ideile și chiar cred că au făcut-o cu mai mult succes în sensul că au învățat ceva la Launch48. Dar, așa, bottom line, Launch48 este locul în care chiar înveți niște lucruri și vezi cât de mult îți țin puterile și de ce ai nevoie. Mai ales de ce am eu nevoie să fac un startup. Pentru că eu sunt un om de marketing Și dacă aș intra în Launch48, aș învăța cât de importantă e programarea și designul și cum să lucrez chiar cu oamenii, pentru că sunt tipologii diferite și vei vedea că când ești presat de timp trebuie să știi să pui problema într-un anumit fel sau când ai ajuns la un anumit impas cum să negociezi cu echipa. Și sunt chestii pe care nu le avem nici din școală, nici by default cei mai mulți sau am avut unde să ne testăm. Aici este loc.
Okay. So I have this feeling that Christy's just answered all the other questions I was going to ask these two.
We Americans we are talking like this. Until you reach the center point, you are like this. This is where you start. This is the point. We are going like this. So
I think that you mentioned something about team structure, didn't you? Like you said that there's different skills in a team.
Well, I told them that they'll learn how a team works.
Yeah.
Usually how team works and the role of the people and why it's important to see the dynamic of the group and the importance of programming part or web design or marketing or business. So working all these skills in a group, you as a participant, you will have a big picture. And you will see everything there is to know about launching the startup.
Perfect. Cool.
It's also worth on the skills track, if it's specifically around the development. If we've got developers who have different languages here, it's probably worth sort of trying to work out if there are other people who actually use the same languages as you do. Because the group that I was in, we had one Rails developer, 2 PHP developers, and 2 C developers all trying to work together, and it was quite complicated to try and work out how you could create a functioning system using lots of different languages for different bits. So it's just something to bear in mind. It's probably worth trying to work out if there are people.
Can you talk a little bit about how your team ended up being structured and dynamics, which is, I think, what Christy was talking about?
Sure. So I think we had about 10 people in the team, and we had quite a large focus. Probably 6 of those people were on the business side, and I'd say 4 of those people came sort of more from the financial point of view in the business. And then we had sort of much smaller subset, if you do the numbers, of people who were actually creating products. So we had essentially 3 developers, and then myself sort of trying to do some design and sort of user experience to tie the two together. I think one of the key things that the business people on the team focused on that probably changed in retrospect was that they focused on a business plan that you might do if you want to go to the bank and take £100,000 investment. When actually what they needed to do was have a plan to work out how at the end of 48 hours they can get from maybe 0 customers to 1 customer, or how they could actually get 10 people tweeting about it on Twitter rather than no people tweeting about it on Twitter. So I think that sort of, the viability of it is important, but it's also really important to try and get a plan in place for traction rather than long-term growth and how you're going to be a billionaire in 2 years' time, which is sort of something worth thinking about in your dreams, but maybe not so much planning for a weekend.
So I think off the back of what Hugo just said, put your hands up if you're a developer. Okay. Put your hands up if you're a designer, or a user interface, user experience. Yeah, put your hands up if you're a marketing person. And put your hands up if you're a business person. Seriously. Yeah. Usually business is like all hands go up and everybody else. So it's good that we've got kind of an even mix. And put your hands up if you've got kind of a couple of skills across a couple of those areas. Yeah? Like you're a bit of a Japanese. Okay, cool. That's important. Alright, so we'll just ask one more question and then we'll take some questions from you guys, just in case we've missed anything that you really want to know about. So I think